will come back home, and we will come back home.
Wow. Like Celine Dion.
And we'll come back
How much
home.
are we playing of
There's
this?
a dance. That's it. But there's a dance that involves like kicking and then reaching, and I'm going to learn it.
So just right there, I realize how awkward I am whenever there's music and you have to dance. Like, I can't do it, which makes me really want to teach a class at Lost. I think you have to let me do a pop-up class.
Okay.
If you're listening to this, you go to Lost Cycle.
For free.
No, this has to be a premium class for
We
sure.
can't make people pay for this.
No, it would definitely have to be
Immediate
we might need to pay people to come. Be like, hey, like $20, just come. Do Isaac a favor, smile, laugh at his jokes. Yes.
Counteract that with me teaching a movement class.
Sure. Yeah. Oh boy.
I need an hour,
Yeah.
15 minutes to start.
Yeah.
Will be the warm up.
Yeah. I like
And
it.
it'll just be me talking about
I'll-
conspiracy theories.
I also thought it would be funny if we did if we made a playlist, but it alternates. Courtney song, Isaac song, Courtney song, Isaac song. But then I'm like, it would probably make Courtney go crazy because all you do is playlists and you think of flow,
Yeah.
but there would be no flow. It would be like your music to like a bluegrass song from me,
Yes.
to something from you, to like a Disney song. Like it would just be all over the place.
Baby shark, do.
Which could be fun.
Yeah. Again,
You're not feeling it.
we're
That's
not.
okay.
We're paying people to come to that.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
We'll charge people to come to my class, but we'll pay people to come to yours.
That sounds fair.
I'm fired on all cylinders today.
Oh yeah, just mowing down that banana. So we just finished a 21K run.
Just a casual half.
I feel like this is like the nice cadence we have now. Is every 2 weeks we do our long run, and then we record a potty.
Yeah. I smoke a little weed in your
Sure.
business,
Yep.
and then we record a podcast.
Classic Courtney. Classic Courtney.
They love it. The people love it.
Yeah. So today, what we're going to talk about is next weekend. We got the Forest City half marathon. They got a 10K and a 5K option as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk just about like some best practices for race day.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have to go into like the specifics of how Forest City is going to go because to be honest, I don't know what time it starts. I don't know much.
I think it starts at 9, but
I thought it starts at 8.
Oh.
And I think the 10K starts later, which
I know nothing.
something we can talk. Yeah, so this is why we're definitely not going to talk about the specifics
Yeah.
of the day. Right? That was it. That was going to be it.
Yeah. Race prep. How we prep. Yours is going to look different than mine. But
Yeah.
live, laugh, love. But tips and tricks, I think we can offer.
Yeah. And we can start even with just not necessarily this weekend, but like Monday. So race week.
Yeah.
Because I think that is an important part for a lot of people. And one thing I think some individuals will do, especially if this is your first race, which I know Forest City, that's something they do really, really well. It's like a lot of people will come out and this is their first time doing the 5K or a 10K
Yeah.
or their first half marathon, right? It's like the big local race. So the first, a lot of times people come unprepared and it's like they think that they can gain a lot of fitness the week of, where it's like, you've already done all the studying.
Yeah, nothing's going to.
Yeah, there's no more cramming for the exam. Like you're not going to learn anything on race week.
Yeah.
So don't think like doing, some really, really fast work or trying to PR your 5K or anything like that is going to help you for your race.
No. Race week is a good week to just kind of like
Chill.
Keep it chill.
Absolutely.
Get excited about what you're about to do. Like that, to me, your race week is your time to plan your fit, to think about what you want to do after. Yeah. Like, this is the fun part now. All the hard work's behind you. Yeah, you can't change anything.
Absolutely. So really use this week to like rest, recover. That doesn't mean do nothing. So I don't know if there's any organized shakeouts. I thought I saw some stuff on Instagram, but so the race is on Sunday. So Saturday, I would recommend doing like some sort of shakeout run. And like not long. Like my shakeout when I do a marathon is 3K. So if I race on Sunday, my shakeout run is like 3 to 5K the day before.
Yeah.
And like stupid slow. Like 2 to 3 minutes slower per kilometer than my standard pace.
And you know what? The concept of a shakeout run, I think, is fairly new for people. Like, I never did them back in the day. Like, I would rock up on race day and, like, that was it.
Yeah.
I was like, these people are nuts. Like, what are you doing running before you're going to run the race? Like, that was my mentality. But I have noticed that I feel better if I've done a run or any kind of physical activity the day before. It kind of gets me, like, ready to rock.
Gets you moving. Like, nothing is worse. Like, think about when, like, you're on an airplane for like 8 hours and then you get up and you're so stiff.
Yeah.
It's like our bodies too, right? Like, we still want to make sure we're moving throughout the week. Go to a yoga class, hit up like longevity lounge.
True.
You know, something like that. Yeah. Don't do it maybe the day before or 2 days before, but like at the beginning of the week.
Yes.
Okay. So race week, shakeout runs, use the week to recover. Do we want to talk about the whole idea of like a carbo load if it's necessary? What are your thoughts?
I think yes, because what I'm finding in like our community or just even like friends that are running now, like there is a lot of learning curve with carb loading, but I think it's always such a, I don't know, it's a hard area to coach people on in terms of like nutrition because it is so specific and it is a lot of trial and error. This is why a lot of athletes have weird meals the night before because some people do have to dial into like what's going to sit well. Yep. And if you're new to carb loading, like you're likely not going to eat enough, at least the first couple races, because you kind of have to train your body to be able to do that. Like I actually now don't enjoy carb loading where I used to love it, where like now I'm like, oh, I still have like 50 grams to go.
Well, it's funny too, where it's like, okay, let's say you're running for a city and you literally just hired me as your coach today and you're running next weekend. And then I asked you like, okay, have you ever done a carb load before? And you say no. Yeah. What I'm going to tell you right now is we're not carb loading for Forest City. Yeah. Because it's like you don't really want to change things up substantially on race day. No. So carb loading is something you kind of want to practice during some of your...
Like experiment.
Exactly. Your longer runs, because you don't know what that amount of food is going to do to your system, how you're going to act. It lets you find out like, okay, do I do better with pasta? Do I do better with rice? Do I do better with bread? Yeah. So I wouldn't really change things up if you've never really played around with it. The other thing is distance. Like if you're doing the 5 or 10K, truthfully, you probably don't need to stress out about a carbo load. If anything, and this could be even if you haven't practiced it, the night before, have an extra bagel. Yeah. Have an extra serving of rice or potatoes or pasta. Like just eat a little bit more carbs than you usually would. Or same thing for the morning. If you usually have a bagel, maybe you have 1.5 bagels. Yeah. So just a smidgen. You don't need to go crazy town.
Same with gels. I find like if people have never done gels, I'm like, race day is not the day to find out. 100%. But they are going to help you. But there is like a lack of, I guess, like knowledge out there. I think because the culture of racing is different so much so now. And like, I think with social media, there is a lot of perception of like, this is easy. You just pop out onto the course, pop a few gels and you'll be fine. But it is like, you do still have to experiment. How people take gels is also so different.
For sure. So if you are like wanting to experiment with gels or just like intra, which means like during your run, so intra carbo loading or intra carb intake, you could like just bring candy. Yeah. Right? Like if you want to bring some nerd clusters, I know that's a popular one. Yeah. Skittles, Starburst, like something like that. If you're doing the half marathon, that should be that would be okay. For the 10K, I wouldn't stress too much about it. Maybe you take something at 6K in, but like I wouldn't overly stress about it. No.
And the thing I think people have to factor in for City is that like we're heading into June now. So I think the biggest thing for me would be like weather, like preparing around the weather, because I know last year it was quite warm. And I remember being like,
check the weather now.
Yeah. Like last year they were finishing and I know it was like mid-morning and I was like, it is getting hot. Like it was quite warm when people were finishing. So that's a factor too, that like, if you are a person that runs, say, in the evenings or like early mornings, race day can really like mess you up in terms of like what time you're running. I know for me, I don't usually do my runs super early. So race day is kind of like oh, fuck, here we go. Because I'm like, oh my God, like I got to get up. I got to do all this like this early where usually I'm doing it in the afternoon.
Yeah. No, that was the next point. So, once again, I forget what time the half marathon starts. It's 8 or 9. So, a lot of people will be finishing around 10, 10:30, 11. So it will start to get a little bit warm. But if you're doing the 10K, I think they start at 10, which is late in the day. And it's really early to tell the weather. We're recording this on a Friday, the week before. But it says it's going to be like 25.
Yeah.
So I think like the biggest thing that you can do, and this might seem very obvious to like you and I, but it's not to a lot of runners, which is make sure you get water and electrolytes at every single aid station. I think we were talking about this last time where it's like, it doesn't matter if the first aid station is 2 kilometers in, you're not taking it for current Courtney, you would be taking it for future Courtney. So like your future self will thank you for hydrating now when you're not dehydrated. Compared to if you do get to 10K in and you're like, oh my God, I'm dying, and you're trying to scarf down water, it's too late. So like be proactive. It doesn't matter if you're not thirsty. Get water, even if you have to pee, I don't care. Get water and electrolytes at every single aid station. Yeah. And you do the pinch method. I have a cup here. So the pinch method when you're running by, because for sure, if you're just doing this for fun, you can stop and have your drink of water. Yeah. But if you want to run and have your water or electrolytes, while you're running by the person, you grab and pinch immediately. Yeah. That way it's like the water isn't splashing everywhere. You're still going to lose some, but you have this nice little spout that you just down it rather than like trying to run like this. And
oh my God, everywhere. The pinch is fun. I mean, I still usually dump a lot of it on myself, but I kind of like that.
Yeah, sure.
Piece of it.
Yeah, it's your vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get as many as I can. So I'll usually try to get the first one, drink it. I'll try to get another water.
Really?
Oh, for sure. And then I'll do as many as electrolytes as I can as well, for sure.
And see, I used to race, like I used to not even like look at the stations because I didn't want to like mess with my flow.
Yeah, no.
But now I will stop with them. And I actually find that it just like splits up what you're doing. Stop? No. I just run by, pinch, chug. I have a really bad habit, though, of grabbing colored Gatorade instead of water and then, like, dumping it all over me. Yeah. Like, Emily and I did that in the Mississauga race, and I was just like, I could feel it, like, all over my leg. I was like, oh.
Yeah. You want to make sure, too, like, I would really recommend people try to get the water and whatever electrolyte is. I think it's usually Gatorade at for Forest City, but sometimes it's Noon, sometimes it's some other random brand. But you want a little bit of that sodium to make sure you're like absorbing more of that water and not just completely sweating it out. Like at the end of a race, I'm like covered in salt.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, also it's to each their own. Like I see a lot of people who like to run with their own hydration.
Yes, for sure.
And like pop off if that's what you like to do. I like to milk the race for all the freebies that I can get. So I'm like, I ain't bringing my own electrolytes. I'm taking theirs. When you get to the end of the race and there's bagels and bananas and da-da-da-da-da, trick or treat, bitch. Yeah. Like I'm taking it all because I'm probably not going to have it all myself, but I'm going to, give it away or keep it in my cupboards. But my race strategy, honestly, is usually always like, fucking lock in, just get there, do what you came here to do. Yeah. Lock in and go. Trust what you know, like you've been preparing for this, like what you got to do at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you like lock into that mentality, it's a lot of like don't fucking worry about what other people are doing around you. I will never forget, and I wish I could like meet with this person in the future at some point, but London used to do, I don't know if they still do it, but there was a Run for Retina 10K and it was in the park and similar to like Forest City Energy. Like it was a big race. And I remember being in the corral for this race and there was also like a half or something that same day. And there was a guy fully smoking a cigarette in the corral and like put his cig out before the race started. And I was like,
legend.
Yes. Yes. So it's like, you got to not worry about that. Yeah. People are going to do weird shit on race day. Everyone has their own little like quirks.
Yeah.
And you just got to be like, I got to do what I came here to do.
Yeah, you definitely got to run your race. And you like kind of know what you're capable of in a sense. Like, yes, on race day, a lot of people are going to run the fastest they've ever ran, but you shouldn't be flying out. Like,
No.
know a little bit about your pace. If you do know anything about pacing, like if you see a number on your watch that you've really never seen, slow down.
Yes.
Because you're going to feel like a god at the beginning of the race because it's race day, because you've rested throughout the week. Maybe you've gone through a proper taper. Maybe you've carbo loaded. Maybe you've done all this mobility that you've never done before and you feel really good.
Yeah.
So it's like a recipe for going out too fast and then you get smacked in the face halfway through. So it's like, just be smart at the beginning of your race.
It's true. Like when you like start a race, I think that's like most people's favorite animal is themselves starting a race.
For sure.
You're like, I can do anything.
Yes.
And then you're like,
Yes. And it doesn't matter how many times I say this to people too, as I stare into your eyes. It doesn't matter how many times I say like don't go out too fast.
Yeah.
You still will go out too fast.
Yeah.
But if you're going out a little slower than you usually would because of my nagging, then like we've won. So
Yes.
you're going to go out fast. No doubt about it. But don't go out stupid fast.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been a couple times where I'm starting like a long run and I see kilometer run come in at like 5:15. I'm like, we gotta pull back here. Let's chill the fuck out.
And it's funny because when you guys did you and Emily, a comment you legit made during it was like Isaac's
gonna be pissed. Yeah.
But even the fact that you're saying that is probably enough to be like,
slow it down. Or like, we're probably still going slower than we usually would if Isaac wouldn't be pissed. Yes. It was. We were like, oh fuck. Like we saw the like bleep bleep come in and we both looked at each other. We're like,
yeah.
Whoops. You know?
The other bit too, right, is like, this is more so for training runs, but I think today was actually a really good example. So we did 21K. Your average heart rate was
147.
And you said that was really low for you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to save this for the podcast.
Oh, are you going to roast me?
No. Well, kind of, but not really. Because this is for myself too.
Yeah.
So when I program for people, I always do the first half or first kilometer is done at a zone 1.
Yeah.
So really slow. So the way, if you look at our splits, our first kilometer is probably like a 5:40, 5:45, something like that. Like, I'm a big fan of getting your body used to what you're going to be doing, and then you like gradually pick it up, right?
Yes.
So whereas most people when they start, they're like, boom, okay, I need to get to zone 2. So they're like running let's say your normal zone 2 pace is usually 5:30. I'm just throwing out random numbers. So you're like, all right, I need to get to a zone 2. So then you're like at this 5:30 pace and you're like, oh, my heart rate's still not there. So you're going faster. It's like, well, of course it's going to take your heart rate some time to get up to where it usually goes. But then if you're running too fast at the beginning, boom, now your heart's shocked. And
then
it's
you
like,
can't get it back down.
And you can't get it back down. So it's like trying to be smart with like starting slower and then kind of easing into it. Same thing with our race. Like, not saying start off super slow, but just be mindful of starting off controlled.
Yes.
Maybe that's the word to use.
Yes.
And then, pick it up after kilometer 1 or kilometer 2 when all of the pre-race jitters are kind of gone.
Yes. And I do think a lot of the like going out fast is like you're trying to get around people, you're trying to get your space.
Absolutely.
And a good way to like navigate that, I find, is like getting an idea of like what you're planning to run. So if you are planning to, take it a little more chill, maybe you want to do like a cutie little like 6:30 pace or something, then probably you're not going to want to be really close to the front of the start line because there's going to be people like passing you. So I kind of go by that. The other thing I've learned in racing multiple times is like stick to a side has been my MO. Like I'll usually be like veer left and just keep on that one side.
Yep.
Because you're going to gas yourself just trying to get around people. And I've done it so many times in early racing where I'm like, fuck.
Yep.
And then you're in kilometer 3 and you're gassed because you've just spent the first 3 kilometers dodging people.
Yep.
It's inevitable that you're going to have to dodge people, but like if you can be chill about it.
Yes.
And know that like you are going to get around people.
That's a really, really good point. I always find I go to the sides as well.
Yes.
And then just like a housekeeping item, if you have to spit during the race, some people do snot rockets. Like, I don't care. You do you. But like,
Look around.
Be mindful of the needs of others. Like,
I have almost been spit on so many fucking times.
I told you about the
times.
Boston stuff. It's the worst.
Like people fully spitting?
Dude, they'll be in the middle and look to the left and just spit. And I'm like running behind them. It's like, if you need to spit or snot rocket, go to the side, take a look, and then spit to the ground.
Yeah.
And then go back. Be a fucking human being.
That is wild. Actually, there have been times where a guy is like spitting on the street and does not see me coming. And it's like spit flies and I can like feel the wind of the spit. Like it's so close.
Yeah.
And then I can hear the guy being like, oh fuck, like realizing he almost spit on me.
Which is, you know what? You spit on me, you apologize.
We're cool.
We're cool. Like, I'm still like, dude.
In the right environment, I might even like it. But that was a joke.
This went from a family friendly race day prep to whatever
You
this
spit
is.
on me in the street?
We're cool.
That's not a cool, but you know what? Let's talk later. Just kidding. Am I kidding?
I don't think so.
I don't know if I'm kidding. Moving on.
Anyways.
We got to throw a couple tidbits in there every now and then.
Get the people excited. They don't really know.
They
What's
liked-
Courtney going to say?
They liked the poop talk last time.
Yeah, what's
so.
the unhinged comment Courtney's going to make this time?
Well, I did twerk today in front of the moms.
Dude.
The stroller.
Did you know that they were there?
Like, I saw them. Was I supposed to not?
No, it's on brand.
Like, to twerk in front of moms? Like,
But
ooh.
the best part was how confident you were. You're setting up your camera.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, we're going to do a quick twerk video. I'm like, don't you fucking know me? Do you actually think I'm going to twerk?
You're like, I'm not doing that, right?
And then you put a bunch of new moms literally like 10 meters away.
I just wanted to show them that there's life after all this, you know?
Yeah.
Me and my bony butt just shaking it in front of,
Hey, man,
you know?
You do you. Good job.
They were like, at least we're not that.
Yeah.
Like, that could be us.
That could be us. I don't know what to say to that. How do we come back from that?
I don't know. I don't think we do. And scene. That's it. And that's it.
Okay. I feel like we've kind of already packaged this.
Yes.
In a nice way. But some last little tidbits. Night before and morning of. So this is just like, you don't necessarily need to stress about the carb load if you've never done it before. If you want to have an extra serving of pasta, blah, blah, blah. Like, keep it simple. But I would advise people to really be mindful of fiber after like noon on Saturday. So when we think fiber, think like a bunch of like leafy green vegetables, fruits, whole grain. Like, we want to kind of stay away from that.
Yes.
After noon to 1 o'clock.
Which I learned from you. Like, I think we'll have to do a pod one day just about like
poop.
Well, but like, just like the perception of food with running and everything. Like, I think that people think you have to just eat so well, which for a lot of people, they think like a salad and stuff like that. And I always tell people, I'm like, I am a huge advocate for like green window salads. Like, I friggin' love them. But like the night before I'm running, hell no, get that shit away from me, which I learned from you because like, it is true that like, that's not the time when you want to be like Miss Health Queen. If that's your perception of health, getting a salad, pop off. But like, nah, it ain't gonna do shit for you the night before a race. Like, it really won't. Like, that's when things could take a turn. And you taught me that well. Like, bland, get it in ya. Like, that's the goal. After you're done the race, eat whatever the shit you want, you know? Because like, then if you poop your pants, who cares? You're done.
Absolutely. So and the reason why you want to stay away from fiber is fiber is going to loosen up your stool. Fiber is going to help you poop, and you don't really want to feel like you have to poop during a race.
Yes.
So
which can also be nerves. Like,
for sure,
the anxiety of like showing up to a race is real. Like parking, like all
that's
those
fiber
things.
enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's your fiber.
Yeah. So that's where it's like, when you do have the bagel in the morning, don't go multigrain or whole wheat. Go sesame.
Yes.
Go white. Don't get brown rice. Go basmati or jasmine. Like, just keep it simple.
Yes.
And then the other bit too, I don't know. This is just me, and I don't know.
That seems so sad.
I know. I just see
It's just me.
I see a lot of people when it comes to like their carb loading stuff, and they'll be like, all right, pizza and donuts and all these like really sugary foods. And like, sure, you want to do that, go ahead. But my whole thing is like, if you usually don't eat that shit, eating that shit the night before a race, to me is crazy.
Yes.
Like if you usually have pizza
and donuts
before
and do
a run
it, yeah.
and it feels fine, cool. But like if you usually don't eat pizza, I wouldn't necessarily use that as a carb loading tool.
No.
Because there's a lot of other things that go on pizza. There's a lot of cheese. There's a lot of, additional like grease and fats, and like that might make your stomach a little bit crazy town. Same with donuts.
Yeah, pizza is my like after the race.
Yes. Same.
My night before lately has been a burger, like really plain.
Oh yeah.
No lettuce, no tomato, like no veggies on it, just burger with my condiments, no cheese. But like before Mississauga, I had like smash burgers and a honker of a donut.
Yeah.
And that was fine for me.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have done that like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because that would have seemed too high risk. But exactly, like it's not the time to like try new things.
No.
For sure. And certain things, like too much of anything, it can upset the stomach. So things like that you'd be surprised. We were talking about things that you don't know as an adult. I didn't know that cherries are very high fiber.
Yes.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that till the morning after one day.
Yeah.
So like things like that, like you might need to know that.
Yeah. Don't eat a pear the morning of your race.
Really?
Yeah. Pear's also pretty
Poopy?
high fiber. Yeah. But my pre-race, my night before race meal always used to be sushi.
Yes, I remember that.
Which was like kind of like my dance with the devil.
Yeah.
Because like getting sushi,
raw fish,
you never really know.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, it's actually probably not. It's not. It's not the best carb loading meal because you have to eat a lot of sushi. Because rice, although it's like high carb, it's not super high carb.
No.
Same thing with like white potatoes or like sweet potatoes.
I love sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes are great, but like they're very low carb.
They
Like,
are.
You have to eat a shit ton, which is why it's such a good like superfood because you can eat a crap ton and it's not a lot of carbs or a lot of calories. Same thing is with white potatoes, which people don't realize. People think like, oh yeah, white potatoes, they're super starchy, super carb rich. They're not.
Yeah.
So like in my opinion and what I've shifted to, like my favorite, before a race, which is so standard, is pasta.
Yeah.
Because you think of like, dude, if you look at the amount of carbs in like a cup of pasta, it's depressing because you're like, oh my God, I can have 3 penne and I'm fucking, that's it.
Yeah.
So like in terms of carb loading, it is so easy to carb load on pasta because it's just easy to eat. It's quick.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's simple because like you're probably not going to get whole wheat pasta if you're going out. So pasta's a really safe bet. You can get it everywhere. It's
Tried and
cheap.
true.
Tried and true.
And with carb loading, like a factor in this too is like your carb load is not reserved to like just dinner the night before.
Yes.
I think people don't talk about that like they think, even I thought like back in the day that like a carb load was like your night before meal. It should be your like entire day leading up.
Yeah.
Like the day before a race, I will use that whole day to kind of carb load so that I'm not 9 o'clock trying to get in like my last bit, because that can be stressful too. If you're realizing like I got a race tomorrow and I haven't eaten enough, like that is not a good feeling.
Yeah. And if you're doing a marathon, like ultra marathons, like it could be a 2, 3, 4 day process,
Yes.
right? And this is where like, this is where we'll differ in terms of tracking. Like
Yeah.
when I'll
Mr. Track.
I'll track when I'm eating my carbs because it's like I have to eat so much.
See,
and if I
will
don't
track my carbs.
yeah, I'm like, oh man, I'm so far behind.
Yes.
Where it's like, no, I need to be I need to plan out how to properly carb load.
Yes.
It's so hard to eat that much food.
I will say, while I don't track shit, other than like keeping an idea of protein on a day to day, but I don't track calories, I don't measure anything. Before a race, that is the one day that I'll like keep an idea of carbs.
Yeah.
Mostly so that I can make sure I'm getting enough, because that was when I found out that sweet potatoes have like so little carbs. I think it's like one sweet potato is like maybe like 20 grams of carbs. And I was like, I would have to eat like fucking a whole
Yeah.
bag of potatoes.
Yeah.
And because I remember I was in the car preparing for Toronto. I'm sitting in the back seat. Emily's driving us. And I had like a Tupperware of chicken and a Tupperware of sweet potatoes. I'm like, I'm killing this.
Yeah.
I'm fucking killing this. I got 2 sweet potatoes in this. I got a thing of chicken. And I remember talking to you and being like, I'm eating all this protein. And you were like, stop with the protein and like just get on just get on your carbs. And you were like, stop eating sweet potatoes. And I was like, what the fuck does Isaac know? I look it up and I'm like, oh my God.
Fitness Gandhi.
I got to the keg that night and then they bring you the complimentary bread. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
we're going to need you to like keep that coming
Yes.
if that's your thing.
Yes.
And the guy picked up on it that we were all runners. He was like, all right.
Yeah, no, it's the carb load is like it's an art form to figure out what works for you.
Yes.
My new hack, what I did in Boston is so the day before I went to like a local bakery and I just bought a baguette and I literally just carried the baguette around with me.
And just keep eating it.
Just all day, just mowing down on the baguette.
No, it's true. You kind of have to like eat all day.
Yeah, seriously.
I swear this is kind of why in ways I encourage people to get into running who potentially are still battling with like food issues.
Yeah.
Because while people can very easily use it to go in a negative spiral, you can also like, I swear that running has helped my relationship with food because it's shown me actually how much you need to fucking eat
Yeah.
to even just like survive. So I think like for many, mostly I would say probably women that are like scared of carbs and limiting carbs, like when you actually learn how many grams of carbs are in things, it is very like, what?
Yeah.
I've been lied to my whole life. Like it's crazy.
For sure. For sure.
It's crazy. Like I was like, I would have to eat 7 bagels. 7 bagels
Yeah.
to hit my carb goal for a race.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, like as girls, we're taught that like you're gonna eat the whole bagel, you lard ass, you know?
And once again, so like you have a run club, I have a run club.
And we're gonna battle.
We meet in the park.
We're gonna fight.
And we do these things to give back to our community. It's free for everybody. But I still do really believe a lot of people, if you are trying to train for a race, like having a coach, and this isn't me shamelessly plugging myself, like I don't care. But the nice thing about having a coach and not just a plan is a lot of the times that coach is going to tell you about like food and fueling your body properly. Because like you've heard me have this conversation with people where I'm literally like, yo, dude, you need to fucking eat a piece of bread.
Yes.
Like, I don't want you losing more weight. Like these are conversations I have with my clients.
Yes.
Because it's like I know from a performance standpoint, like during the peak week isn't the time where we should be concerned about what do my abs look like.
That is also somewhat of the like discrepancy, I think, between like male trainers and women trainers is that like men more often are like trying to grow and women are trying to shrink. So that's where that comes into play that like, people will come for you if you start talking about calories and macros and stuff.
Yeah.
Because for women, it's harder for us to like just stay in an acceptable place by society. However, I will say that like when people meet you and talk to you and understand where you're coming from, they're like, this makes sense now. It also depends where you are at. I will say, like,
for sure,
if you are not in a good place with food, then anyone talking about food or nutrition is going to feel triggering. And that's a reality I had to come to on my own as well. Because when I was not in a good place with food, if someone talked about macros, I was like, I'm going to fucking fight you.
Yeah.
But it was more like, I just wasn't in a good place with it.
Yeah.
Where now if people are talking about like, doing 75 hard and they're never eating another carb again, like I can just like hear that knowledge and be like,
okay,
have fun with that. I'm gonna go eat my 7 bagels.
Yeah.
In my room.
100%.
Like
I think it's like, I feel like I don't know, maybe I'm naive. I feel like health and fitness is kind of making its way back to like just letting people do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm a fan of counting macros to a certain extent. And you are not a fan of that.
Yeah.
But we're friends.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you do what works for you. I'm going to do what works for me. I'm still going to respect the shit out of you. And whatever your beliefs are, I'm like, yeah, that's I get
Yeah.
it. That's cool. It's like,
We
but
can
it's like
see both sides.
1,000%. I think it's like you just need to let people do what works best for them because you don't know what their journey has been.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like someone could have seen a ton of success with counting macros and it doesn't put them in a dangerous spot and that's just who they are. And someone could be on the exact opposite. It put them down a dark spiral.
Yes.
So it's like you don't really know, but don't try to push your beliefs on the rest of society.
Yes. And that's such a good point because, like, my brother is learning disabled. I love him to death. He's like the sweetest soul, but he has a tendency to like overeat because guy loves food. Can't blame him. So his idea of portions is just like not in a great place. However, like my brother will not be offended if you're like, this is how much chicken you should eat. This is how much carb. Like it's just facts, you know? And that's all he sees it as is like, what do I got to do to like make my pants fit again, Court, kind of thing. And it's just like, when I think of it that way, that it is so like just like it's just data to him.
For sure.
Like, I'm like, oh, like to an extent, there is a thing with society where, you know, we have to kind of figure out like, what is our relationship with something and how can I just be like neutral about it?
Yeah.
Mind blown. Mind blown. Like, who would have thought we don't actually have to even give a shit about food? Like, we were talking about this on the run today, that like when we see the content of like Kenyans training, they don't give a fuck. Like, they're eating like rice and pure beans and like whatever they can. And I'm like, there's something here, you know? Like, here in Western culture, we put so much emphasis on everything, and that's an us problem.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Even like when you go to Europe with food and stuff like that, like it's so much more community based.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's like they're eating whatever the heck they want, but it's like they're doing it together. When they go to eat, it's with family and friends. It's not like they're going to eat at a restaurant by themselves. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, but
yeah. Well, I think our culture lives in like a very scarcity mindset. And that like limits us from doing a lot of things. Whereas like it seems like every other culture is just chilling.
Yeah.
And then here we're like, ah.
Yeah. Is this when we're going to talk about O Canada again?
Oh my God. I'm going to, you know what? Last time I was worried, I was like, I'm going to get canceled for like promoting the American national anthem. I'm going to circle back to that. It's still a fire fucking song.
It's great.
And the rockets red flare.
I don't have no idea.
Whatever.
No idea. It's good.
It's a good song.
Anything else?
We have to point out, last time we had said things we don't know as adults that we should. And we wanted to make that a thing, but we're struggling to think of what those things are. But mine, I believe last time was something to do with air pressure in tires and just like not knowing.
Yep.
And I think more recently, so I didn't know. I mean, I just kind of was like loading this out to like my girlies that didn't know. I've known this now for a few years, but makeup expires. It is a thing.
Oh.
And like you do really have to, like you really should throw out your makeup.
Why? What happens if it's expired?
I don't know.
Should be a test.
But like that's a thing. Like your shit expires and you should throw it out. Okay. I don't know if that's like that people might comment on this and be like, that's extremely public knowledge and you're an idiot, but
yeah. Okay.
Just a girl.
Okay. So one, I was saying at the beginning, I'm like, I think I have one, but it's not that good.
Okay. I'm prepared to roast it.
Yeah. Please do. I feel like this is more of like an older person thing, but you hear about it often. If anyone out there like has a house, okay, or has had a house or is thinking of buying a house, you think of interest rates, like fixed or variable, and then people just start talking about their interest rate. Like they're so proud of it. Like, oh yeah, I got 2.95.
And you're like, sick. Don't know what that means.
Yeah, I've got like 3.14. You got 4.13. Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
And it's like that, like the knowing of your interest rate. I'm like, why is it such a flex?
Yeah.
I don't know what my interest rate right now is, and I'm like embarrassed to say that because like, oh shit, is that? Like,
I don't either. Okay. Credit card, no idea.
Yeah.
It's called I spend it and I pay it off.
So yeah, interest rates on houses. That's like my I don't I have no idea what it means.
You know what?
I know what it means.
Yeah.
But I don't.
But you don't know.
I don't know it.
I actually, you know what? In you saying that made me think of one. Every time I've looked for a commercial space, not doing that right now. That was not a hint. But when they're like, so the square footage is this and da 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 da. I'm like, what is the rent per month? And they'll write back with the square footage again, and then like what it is per square foot. And I was like, but that doesn't make sense because
it's $130,000.
Yes,
right? 'Cause it's for the whole year.
Yeah. So every time they've like my realtor, Dio, love ya, but he would write back and be like, this is the square.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is the rent per month? I'm not a fucking mathematician.
Yes.
I'm just a sometimes pretty face. So that I'm like, is that a thing people just are able to be like per square foot? Your rent would be that?
Yes. Because what they do, I think, right, is it's like, oh yeah, it's blah, 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 plus cams per square footage. And then you do the math and you're like, how does that make sense? It's $200,000. But then that's divided by year.
But then there's also like, and then you have to equate for like property like, I don't know.
Yeah. I
was like, and you expected me to get to that on my own?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's silly.
So that's a weird expecting adults to know.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I also think that like I recently discovered, maybe shouldn't even be saying this, but like nothing really happens if you don't file your taxes. Am I allowed to say that?
I don't know.
Like I know multiple.
Personal or business?
I think personal.
You're like, well.
To be clear, I file my taxes. I file my taxes for Lost Cycle Inc. But I know multiple people who are like, I should probably file my taxes this year. And they're like, I haven't in like 5.
I think it's I think it's not a problem until it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like.
Kind of like speeding.
Exactly.
Or smoking weed and driving.
Yeah.
If you did that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
like that. It's not a problem until
it is. I like that.
That's a good quote. It's not a problem until it is.
Those are words to live by.
I had another one. No, I don't know what it is. It's the story of my life today.
Yeah. You lose some brain cells on that run?
Man, no. Okay, so my like Whoop stuff.
Yes.
So Whoop is like my little activity tracker that I use to tell me how fit or unfit I am.
Yeah.
And like my sleep lately has been just trash.
No, mine too.
Oh my God. So it's like I was killing it from January to April and then May. I don't know if you would get this. We might have talked about this before. When I'm training for a race, I'm like dialed in.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get sick and then the sickness will be gone the next week because my body's like, no, man, Isaac has things to do.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I'm done the race, my body's like, yo, you suck. And we're going to beat you to the ground. And it's like my training load is less. Everything is less. But like, my body just hates me right now.
I think it's still just that concept of like rest. This is why like a lot of people get sick when they have like their day off. And you're like, why am I getting sick on my day off? And it's like, well, you finally allowed your body to not be in flight.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my theory.
I feel like I just live life in flight because
I feel like I've lived my whole fucking life in fight or flight.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't have a chill bone in this body.
Oh, no, sorry. I live life in fight, not flight. Flight or flight? What is it?
I think both.
Fight or flight.
Yeah.
Fight would be like retreat. Flight would be like
peace. I don't know. I'm too confused now.
See, this is what I mean. My sleep is so I don't know what I'm saying. I'm so tired.
I'm tired too. I also had a mini little faint last week when I was trying to get an IV for hydration.
Oh, yeah.
So I fainted twice. I'm okay. But it did make me like literally since that happened, like that whole weekend, I'd be talking to someone and literally be like, I have no idea what we were talking about. And I was like, that's concerning.
How was the IV drip?
I didn't get it.
Oh, you didn't do it?
I got like 3 minutes of it because then I fainted like a nerd.
Really?
Yeah. And then I was like shaking and like came to it. I was like, did I get my IV? She was like, nope. I'm like,
no, you fainted and threw up.
Yeah.
And shit your
sick.
pants.
Yeah.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, I was covered in sweat. Like
Really?
covered in sweat.
Yeah. But you don't like needles. We talked about this a little bit, right?
I don't do well with like intravenous anything.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Like tattoo me all you want, whatever. I could be like, I feel like I could handle even being stabbed. and I'd be okay. It would be the wound looking after that I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
don't look at it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's something like when I get in my head,
I'm the same.
I know I'm going to faint. Like I know it. Like I'll be like, I'm going to sit down and I got about 2 minutes.
Yeah. No, I get that. That camera just died. Oh. That's okay.
So it's just on me.
So now it's just on you. So this is probably a good time to end it then.
Yeah. Now that we can't see you.
Yeah, now that we can't see me. Any big parting words or no?
Good luck out there on race day. It's to be determined if I'm even doing it. I have a bib, but I have a concert the night before.
Fingers
so you
crossed.
might see me in this race or you might see me on the sidelines.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Okay. Thank you for joining me. We'll talk again in 2 weeks.
Yes. And we'll run.